Okay, I'm back, y'all. So, let's see. Got my favorite brush. Got my palette. So as a review, I've got titanium white, cobalt blue. What was this one? Carillion blue, and just my black. So we are going to start with this little section here. I want to make this a bit thicker, fuller, a little bit more gray. So usually, depending on my mood, is what I do. If I'm happy and light, I'll do the light stuff. Really just depends on my mood. I think it's a little too blue, need a little bit more gray. I think that's good. So when I mix it, I'm still going to leave a little bit of blue, a little bit of gray, then a little bit of white. I'm going to go in between all of these as I go sometimes. Just depends on what gets put down on the painting here. Sometimes it's not as lovely. So let's see. I'm going to keep these little white parts. The little white parts are the clouds popping through, the lighter part of the cloud, and I don't want to mess that up. I just wanted more coverage over the parts that were gray, so I'm going to make sure to do that. And since I haven't determined if I'm painting the sides of my canvas black or not, I'm going to just keep following through with painting the sides of my canvas. Sorry, I'm looking at my canvas and trying to record at the same time, and the recording kind of goes off the canvas a little bit, sorry. Just grabbing some more of that gray. Getting a little bit more coverage. I think that needs a little bit more gray. That was a little blue, so I'm going to grab a touch more black, mix it in there, because I did want this a little bit more gray. These are heavier clouds on this part here. But again, I'm leaving a little bit of space for the whites because the white part of the cloud is going to pop through. Ooh, that was a little dark. I'm going to grab a little bit of the titanium white, and while the gray part is wet, thank goodness it's not too hot here today. The other day my paint was drying super quick, and I don't use a lot of additives in. A lot of people, especially acrylics, because they don't want them to dry so fast, they'll put additives in it, and I've done that. But I feel like it changes the texture of the paint, and it kind of gets cakey, I feel. So I'm not going to grab just white. I'm going to mix the white a bit with that gray that I had. And you'll know a lot of people, especially with acrylics, will use a very heavy full body on their paintbrush, and you'll see that I don't. And I don't because I think, I don't know, I've used different mediums, and I think that's just me pulling in some of my other habits. I'm not totally new to acrylics. I've been working with them for a few years now, but still relatively new, where the other ones I've been doing for many, many, many years. Grabbing some more titanium. I don't want these to be super obvious and bright. Like over here, there's a lot of light over here. there's not a lot of light over here. It's mostly a very big gray cloud. So I'm going to mix a little bit more of this guy. And I'm using more of the dark blue because it's a darker part of the cloud. I'm just using a touch of the cobalt blue because it's not, excuse me, it's the darker part of the cloud. I want the cobalt blue to stay mostly over here, and then this is the dark gray area. That was a little heavy of me with the gray right there. Kind of went over the white. I'm going to grab some of my white. Oop, too much. Wipe a little. I wiped a little bit of that off. I'm going to keep going here. There we go. Until you just blend it. The other day I was using a very heavy hand and I was digging into I'm not even filming my hand, am I? And I was really digging into my canvas. This time I'm using a light hand because this is a multiple layered area. And I've already done quite a few layers over here, so there's no need to really dig it into the canvas to hold that color. I'm just brushing over the layers here. I'm going to grab a little bit more white, a little bit more. Now I think this one needs some more blue. I think we're going a little too gray, in my opinion. So back over here. Do a little bit of the sides. And then we keep going. Do you see it? How the layers build a dimension. And one tip that I learned growing up, took a lot of clinics for, I grabbed a little white, you guys. This is all titanium white because I'm blending. I'm not using, no, I'm sorry, I said titanium. It's not titanium white. It's transparent white, the Liquitex white. I'm using that one because we are blending it in. We're not making it pop. I don't want it to pop too much. I want it to hide. But anyway, back to what I was saying. A tip that I learned growing up that I don't know if everybody knows this or doesn't know this. Sorry if I say stuff that you people already know. But when you're painting or drawing, have your paintbrush go in the direction something's going. I'm dabbing it because these are clouds, and clouds appear fluffy. I'm gonna grab a little bit more of that blue color. There we go. Put a little bit down here. So these clouds are in different stages of their, of their life. This one's all full and dark and gloomy, cloudy, and then these guys are bright and excited for the sun to come out. Now this part is the sky coming through a little bit, so for those I do want to be cobalt heavy. I don't want to hide that too much. I'm blending over here. Sorry guys, forgot to show you. I grabbed a little cobalt, grabbed a little bit of the black, make it gray a little. And then I'm gonna come over here. I'm making this part of the sky a little bit darker than that part because this part is not bright. The sun's not hitting this part even though you can see the sky. The sun's not hitting it. And I'm just going lightly. I'm just making more coverage so that you don't see the canvas underneath. I didn't do a glaze layer. Some people, and even I have, done glaze layers where, or I think you call it glaze. I'm not very good with all those terms, but they, lay down a color before you start painting anything. Usually if it's blue, you're going to lay down orange and vice versa. I didn't do that with this one. I haven't done it with my last few sky paintings. I just let the color do its thing. So I am fighting with the white canvas underneath, was my point of saying that. This is turning into a pretty long video. I don't know if I'm going to split this up. It's been 10 minutes. I don't know. I'm new to this. Sorry, guys. This is boring. Let me know. Try to cut out the quiet parts with the little editing tool. And I've been using edits. I don't have a personal computer at home. I work on a computer all day. And I've had so many personal computers. Just over the computer thing at the end of the day, I think. My husband has one. And he'll ask me to do some stuff for him at the end of the day. I'm like, do you come home and want to do your stuff? Which is funny because he is basically doing it because we're working on our house. So I can't use that as an argument much anymore. Let's see. So that's making that cloud a bit thicker and darker. Gotta keep going over on this side. I'm trying not to have harsh lines in the dark areas because, whoops, canvas is turning. Let's see. Oh, I don't even know where I put my coffee, y'all. Now I drink way too much coffee. So I guess that's fine that I don't know where I put it. So does that look better? One of the things I do as well to double check my work is I'll step back from the painting and I'll look at my reference photo. I'll look at a couple of the other photos that I take during the process, the painting process. So did you see what I did there? I had like a little bit of extra paint on my paintbrush and I needed some, so I just dabbed it and grabbed some from over there and did that. And this is a bit gray over here, so I'm just gonna So those are clouds so far. I think I'm gonna grab a little bit of the blue part, come over here and blend a little bit. No, that's just not enough. It's getting too dry. So grab a little titanium white. Think. Okay. And then let's soften the sides of that blue. I'm going really light, just a light hand. Just blending that out. making the transition between white and gray a little bit softer. Keep some parts light so that parts of the little light clouds can come through. See how I'm not using pure white over here like I am over here, because these are just little glimpses of behind the scenes. I can only like that like that. I'm going to just soften a little bit, just like that. I gotta check my time, make sure I can have time to take my son to school. Wake him up because he's terrible at waking up on his own. Oh, that's a bright. Oh, that's not very nicely blended at the bottom, is it? Let's just grab some and just do that. Actually, I'm going to want that a little bit more gray, I think. My paints are drying up a little bit. I'm going to mix a little bit more. Oh, that's way too much. So, that is way too much. No, too much. Hang on. That's what the paper towel is for. I'm not dipping it in water. If I do, the water will change that. Sorry, forgot what I was saying. If I put water on it, it's just going to make it too liquidy. I want to keep the full body of the paint. And you'll see I didn't. That doesn't look good. So I am putting some of the blue back up in there. There we go. That blended nicely. There we go. I don't know if you can hear in the background. I live in the country. Lots of roosters next door. Some people love roosters. I think it's a little excessive. They don't just crow in the morning. They crow all day long. So I have my music on in the background. Try and drown it out a little bit. We're getting used to it, but it's still quite a bit. To each their own. We're in the country, so what do we expect? I lived in West Virginia for a little bit of time, so still don't remember any roosters. We were near racehorse tracks, so there was a lot of racehorses around us, not so much chickens, you know. Cows. We had cows. Let me see. That's getting to a color I don't really like right there. That was a mistake, I think. That's what I get for talking and getting sidetracked. What time is it? It's been 20 minutes. It's getting late, and I have to take my son to school. Let's see. I don't really want to... Yeah, and I have to work. So, you know, fun stuff. And I think I have a meeting this morning, so I can't miss that. So I'm just going to try to fix this area that I just kind of fumbled, I don't know. I didn't even use my titanium white again, which was wasteful. I will probably try to get that back in the container. Let's see, a little bit more white. I do like when we do this, how this little tiny part looks so minuscule, like it's not important, but it's so important. It just created like a little back part to the cloud, you know? I think in the last video I said it was a thought of a cloud. Might get blown forward. I have too much blue on my thing, so paintbrush, so I wiped it a little bit. And through all this, I'm still only using the transparent white. I went in with titanium for the very bright ones, and in the end, I might go back and thicken up some of the white, make it more bright, but oh my goodness, I can tell my brain is getting to another place where I have to probably stop painting because I know I have other things I have to do. I'm not focusing on the painting anymore. Focusing on all the other things I have to do today. Which, hello, it's Friday. It doesn't matter, the weekend goes by so fast anyway. I don't even know what we do. It's like a never-ending work with this house. But it's coming along. I am not complaining. I love this house. It's really quite pretty. Unique. Just like me and my husband. All right, you guys, I think I'm going to call that a day, or at least a small session. 20 minutes. That's all I got in today. Should have started earlier. I think I'm not going to do a short on this one. I think I'll rewatch it, see how dumb I sound or not dumb. And then I'll put the whole thing up. You know what? I really wanted to fix this and I didn't. It looks totally like a mouth. Does it still look like a mouth, you guys? I gotta figure out what to do with this thing. I should show the reference photo. The reference photo is like this. It's really just like this huge burst of energy right here. This is where a lot of the brightness comes out. So I don't want to make it I think that helped. Okay, it doesn't look like a mouth anymore. I've been walking past this painting every day and just thinking it looks just like a mouth. It's driving me bonkers. I started another drawing, I think it was yesterday, and maybe I'll put that up here. That one's just a pen and ink drawing. I was feeling a certain way, and that really helps to relieve some of the thinking going on in my head. Try to make this, no, I just messed that one up too. Okay, I really need to stop because I just keep going with the fuddling and the messing. Daggone it. Shoot. Oh, and it must be warming up a little bit because my paint's getting a bit dry. just gonna try to fix what I did over here a little bit. Definitely gonna need to come back in with the titanium here. Gosh, something's been going around on the house, and some of us are feeling a bit under the weather lately. I gotta say, I still feel a little funny. You know, when you just don't feel 100%. You don't know if it's your emotions or maybe you're just not really feeling well. Not sure. Too much white. This is still a cloud over here. Oops. Sorry about that. I want that to look a bit more like a cloud. All right, if I don't get this kid up, he's not going to get himself up. So, he's the last one we've got. Little teenager. Just turned 16. Everyone else is basically grown and gone. But let's not talk about that. Miss them. And then we moved so far. So literally haven't seen them for so long because we live so daggone far. Which I know, it's not really super, super far. It's still 2 hours, and I am not a driver. I hate driving. I do drive. I just really hate driving. All right, I need to stop before I mess things up really, really bad. Which I'm doing. I just keep going. Okay, I just keep going. And I'm messing up my vibe on this painting. And then, okay, just a little blend. Little blend. Okay, we're really going to stop before I do something I highly, highly regret. But see, I see that, and then I'm like, oh, I just need a little bit more up here. But I do need to stop. So something I do like about this painting, some of my favorite things. Oh, I put a little bit of, I'm sorry, did I even get that? I don't know if I showed you. I just had a little white, so I and it looked kind of cool. So a couple of the things I really like about this painting is it really has a lot of depth in it. And I love the layers of the clouds in it. I love the whole darkness, which doesn't look as dark. Whoops, I forgot. You can't. That was so old of me, wasn't it? I just turned it sideways. Yeah, I love it. I think I love it. It's getting there. I have to fix a lot, but it is getting there. So I love how thick this feels right here. I wish I could get that thickness here. And it's probably because of the dark blue. So I might be putting some dark blue over here. Because how that darkness right there really makes it feel not flat. This kind of feels flat. So we're going to put some blue over there later. I've got to put some of this away because that's way too much white to waste. But I'll see you guys next time for another 20-30 minute session, I guess. Bye.